Gobekli Tepe turned out to be what you think it might have been, the place where advanced ancient civilization once inhabited, or they used it.
Deep beneath the Turkish soil, a signal was detected, not from a modern satellite or a military base, but from Gobekli Tepe, a 12,000-year-old temple. In 2025, an AI-powered scan of the site didn't just map the ancient pillars.
These pillars dates back 11,600 years. It appears to be purposely buried at the same time of the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe. This is fascinating.
It picked up a faint, rhythmic pulse from below. This wasn't a natural geological phenomenon. It was something deliberately built, something that was still active. Suddenly, a forgotten ruin became a site of critical importance. What our ancestors buried thousands of years ago is waking up, and the AI's findings suggest we might not be ready for what comes next. The AI's first shock. It all started with a hum, a barely audible vibration that the high-tech equipment and advanced AI system wasn't supposed to detect. It's funny when you think about it. We send a multi-million-dollar AI to scan some old rocks, and it finds a ghost. In 2025, a team of researchers led by the brilliant Dr. Eris Thorne brought this cutting-edge AI to Gobekli Tepe. The plan was simple. Create the most detailed 3D map of the site ever conceived, but the AI found something else. Something that wasn't on any map. Deep beneath the central enclosure, about 100 feet down, the ground-penetrating radar picked up an anomaly. It wasn't a tomb or a hidden chamber, it was a grid, a perfectly symmetrical geometric grid of tunnels and nodes that pulsed with a faint energy signature. This wasn't some natural rock formation. Natural formations are messy, chaotic. This was precise, intelligent. The AI, bless its digital heart, almost had a meltdown trying to process the data. It flagged the discovery with a priority 1 alert, a digital scream for attention. Dr. Thorne and his team were floored. They were looking at something that, by all accounts, shouldn't exist. We're talking about a structure built by people who were supposedly just figuring out how to farm, and they had created a subterranean energy grid. It was like finding a car engine in a medieval castle. The AI's analysis of the material composition of this grid was even more mind-boggling. The tunnels were lined with a crystalline mineral, primarily quartz, which is known for its piezoelectric properties. That means it generates an electric charge when squeezed or put under pressure. The nodes connecting the tunnels were made of a copper alloy, a material that our history books tell us wouldn't be invented for another 4,000 years. The whole thing was a giant buried circuit board. The implications were staggering. This wasn't just a temple, it was a machine that had been silently waiting for 12,000 years. The team's excitement was mixed with a healthy dose of fear. What kind of power were our ancestors playing with? And more importantly, why did they bury it? The initial scans were just the tip of the iceberg, and what the AI would uncover next would turn their fear into pure terror. It seemed the builders of Gobekli Tepe weren't just praying to the gods, they were trying to become them. This buried machine was just the beginning. The AI was about to translate the stones. Pillar 43's grim prophecy. With the discovery of the buried grid, the carvings on the T-shaped pillars of Gobekli Tepe took on a whole new meaning. They weren't just pictures of animals anymore. They were a language, a complex code that the AI was uniquely equipped to decipher. The team focused on Pillar 43, also known as the Vulture Stone. It's a creepy-looking thing, covered in carvings of a scorpion, a vulture, and a headless human figure. For years, archaeologists thought it depicted a burial ritual. The AI, however, saw something different. It cross-referenced the positions of the animals with star charts from 12,000 years ago, and what it found was a perfect match. The animals on the pillar weren't just animals, they were constellations. The Vulture Stone was a map of the sky, but it was more than just a star map. The AI identified a specific date encoded in the pillar's carvings, 10,950 BCE. A date that corresponds with the beginning of the Younger Dryas, a mini ice age that plunged the Earth into a deep freeze for over 1,000 years. The cause of the Younger Dryas has been a mystery for decades, but one theory has been gaining traction: a comet impact. And right there, on Pillar 43, the AI found it. A carving of a falling object, a comet, positioned right next to the constellation of Sagittarius. The headless man wasn't a depiction of a burial, it was a symbol of mass devastation. The builders of Gobekli Tepe weren't just marking a date, they were recording a cataclysm, an event that wiped out entire species and changed the course of human history. This was a game changer. The idea that a so-called primitive society could not only track complex astronomical events but also record them for future generations was astounding. It was like they were leaving a message in a bottle, a warning for whoever came after them. The AI's translation of the Vulture Stone sent a chill down the spines of the entire research team. They were looking at a first-hand account of an apocalypse written by the survivors. The terrifying part wasn't just that a comet had hit the Earth. It was the realization that the builders of Gobekli Tepe had known it was coming. They were sophisticated enough to predict it. And if they could predict it, what else did they know? The AI wasn't done with the Vulture Stone. It found another set of symbols, a hidden layer of code that pointed to something even more disturbing. A repeating cycle of destruction. The ancient code predicted another event, a much bigger one. A power we can't control. The discovery of the comet impact was shocking, but the AI's final revelation about Gobekli Tepe was something else entirely. It was the kind of discovery that makes you want to pack a bag and move to another planet. After deciphering the Vulture Stone, the AI turned its attention back to the energy grid beneath the site. It ran a simulation, a what-if scenario. What if the grid was activated? The results were, to put it mildly, terrifying. The AI predicted that the grid, when activated by a significant seismic event, would resonate at a specific frequency, a frequency that would amplify the Earth's natural magnetic field. This wasn't some primitive power source for lighting up a few huts. This was a planetary defense system. Think about that for a second. A 12,000-year-old planetary defense system. The builders of Gobekli Tepe weren't just trying to survive a comet, they were trying to stop it. The AI's simulation showed that the amplified magnetic field would create a shield, a protective bubble around the planet that could deflect incoming objects. It was a technology so advanced, it bordered on science fiction, but it came with a terrible price. The simulation also showed that activating the grid would cause massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions across the globe. It was a doomsday device, a last resort that would save the planet, but at the cost of countless lives. The headless man on the Vulture Stone suddenly made a lot more sense. The most terrifying part, the AI detected a change in the grid's energy signature. It was subtle, but unmistakable. The grid was slowly, very slowly, powering up. The recent increase in global seismic activity, the strange weather patterns, the weird magnetic anomalies being reported all over the world. It was all connected. The grid was responding to something. The AI couldn't determine what was triggering it, but it made one thing clear. The clock was ticking. The ancient machine was waking up, and we had no idea how to control it. The team was faced with a horrifying choice. Do they try to shut it down, risking a catastrophic failure, or do they let it activate and hope for the best? It was a question with no easy answer, and as they stared at the data streaming from the AI, they realized the situation was even worse than they thought. The grid wasn't just a defense system, it was also a beacon. The machine was sending a signal, but not to us. Not made by human hands. This is where the story goes from unbelievable to something that will keep you up at night. As the AI continued to analyze the data from Gobekli Tepe, it started to piece together a profile of the builders. And it was a profile that didn't fit with anything we know about human history. The level of scientific and engineering knowledge required to build the energy grid and the astronomical calendar was off the charts. We're talking about a civilization with a deep understanding of physics, geology, and astronomy. A civilization that was thousands of years ahead of its time. The AI crunched the numbers, ran the probabilities, and came to a chilling conclusion. The builders of Gobekli Tepe might not have been entirely human. Now hold on, this isn't some wild alien conspiracy theory. The AI wasn't suggesting little green men, it was pointing to a different kind of human, a lost branch of the family tree, a subspecies that was more intelligent, more advanced than Homo sapiens. The AI found trace amounts of organic material in the soil around the pillars, and the DNA analysis revealed a startling anomaly, a genetic marker that has never been seen before. It was human, but different, a kind of superhuman, for lack of a better term. This wasn't just a civilization, it was a different species, a species that coexisted with our ancestors and then, suddenly, vanished. Why did they disappear? The comet impact is the most likely answer. They saw it coming. They built a defense system to try and stop it, but in the end, it wasn't enough. They were wiped out, leaving behind only a ghost of their former glory and a warning that we, their less advanced cousins, were now in possession of. The implications are mind-blowing. Our entire understanding of human evolution, of our own history, is wrong. We weren't the only intelligent species on this planet. We just happened to be the ones who survived. It's a humbling and, frankly, terrifying thought. The thing is, when you start to look at ancient myths and legends from around the world, you see stories of gods who came from the sky, who taught humanity the secrets of civilization. Maybe they weren't myths, maybe they were memories of a lost species, the true builders of our world. Are we missing a key detail here? Is it possible they never left? The inheritance of the gods. So, here we are, standing on the edge of a precipice, looking into an abyss of our own forgotten history. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? The idea that our ancestors were more than just cavemen, that they built a machine that could save the world, that we might not be the first intelligent species on this planet. It's the kind of stuff that changes everything. And the thing is, this isn't just a story about the past. It's about our future. The energy grid beneath Gobekli Tepe is real. It's powering up, and we have to decide what to do about it. The AI has given us the data, but it can't make the choice for us. Do we try to control this ancient technology, a power that we barely understand, or do we leave it alone and hope that it knows what it's doing? It's a choice that could determine the fate of our entire species. The AI has detected a pattern in the energy pulses coming from the grid. It's not random. It's a countdown. A countdown to what? We don't know. But the AI has made a prediction based on the trajectory of a newly discovered asteroid, one that is on a direct collision course with Earth. An asteroid that is scheduled to arrive in our cosmic neighborhood in the very near future. It's almost poetic, isn't it? History repeating itself. Another cataclysm hurtling towards us from the depths of space. But this time, we have a choice. We have the inheritance of our long-lost cousins, the unseen architects of Gobekli Tepe, a doomsday machine that could be our salvation or our damnation. The final chapter of this story is yet to be written, and we are the ones who will write it. The question is, will we learn from the past, or are we destined to repeat it? The clock is ticking, and the whole world is holding its breath. The legacy of Gobekli Tepe is in our hands now. And whatever happens next, one thing is for sure. The world will never be the same. The vibration that built the world. All right, so a planetary defense grid and a lost species of superhumans are wild enough, but hang on to your hats because the rabbit hole goes way deeper. Get this. Some theorists looking at the AI's data are now pushing an idea that's so out there, it makes everything else look like child's play. They believe Gobekli Tepe wasn't just a machine, it was a musical instrument. A colossal, earth-shaking instrument that used sound waves to reshape the world. It sounds crazy, I know, but think about the piezoelectric grid again. Quartz crystals don't just generate electricity when squeezed, they also vibrate at a precise frequency when you run a current through them. That's how your quartz watch keeps perfect time. The AI simulation suggests that the underground grid wasn't just a power source, it was a massive frequency generator, a resonance chamber capable of producing incredibly powerful low-frequency sound waves, infrasound. Now, infrasound is weird stuff. It's below the range of human hearing, but you can feel it. It's been known to cause feelings of awe, dread, and even paranoia. Some scientists believe it's the reason people think certain places are haunted. What if the builders of Gobekli Tepe mastered it? What if they could tune the entire site to a specific frequency? Some theories suggest they used these powerful sound waves for healing, for altering consciousness, for opening their minds to other dimensions. But there's a darker possibility. They could have used it as a weapon, a sonic cannon that could level mountains, trigger earthquakes on command, or even turn enemy armies into quivering masses of terrified people. The power would be unimaginable. Here's where it gets really nuts. How did they move those massive pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, or 50,000 pounds? Our best guess is with logs and ropes, but honestly, that's just a guess. The sonic theory offers a wilder explanation: acoustic levitation. The idea is that if you can create a powerful enough focused sound wave, you can create a pocket of pressure that can lift heavy objects off the ground. It's been done in labs on a small scale. What if Gobekli Tepe was the large-scale version? What if the builders didn't haul those stones? What if they just hummed them into place? It would mean they had a mastery of physics that we are only just beginning to understand. The carvings on the pillars might not be constellations after all. They could be musical notations, a terrifying symphony, a blueprint for the sound that built the world, or the sound that could unmake it. But what if sound wasn't the goal? What if it was the key to unlocking reality itself? The world's oldest hard drive. Alright, if you thought a planetary defense grid or a lost species of sonic architects was the final stop on this train, you need to buckle up. This last theory is a whole other ballgame. It's the one that has fringe physicists and quantum researchers whispering in hushed tones, the one that truly keeps them awake at night. This theory suggests that Gobekli Tepe isn't just a temple, a machine, or a weapon. It's the world's oldest hard drive, a key, a terrifying key to the very nature of our existence. Some of the boldest minds looking at the AI's quantum data have proposed the most staggering idea of all, that our universe, everything you see and feel, is a hyper-realistic simulation, a computer program of unimaginable complexity. And Gobekli Tepe, it's a piece of the source code, a fundamental command prompt, an anchor point left behind by the original programmers. Think of it like a developer's backdoor into the system, a hidden file buried deep in the operating system of reality itself. This theory paints the superhuman builders in a completely new light. They weren't just another species. They were beings who somehow had figured it all out. They knew the world was a construct, and they built Gobekli Tepe not just to observe the program, but to actively interact with it, to rewrite the code on a fundamental level. The carvings on the pillars aren't just pictures, they're data. Physical data storage etched in stone containing the secrets of the simulation's architecture. So why would they bury it? Why go to such incredible lengths to hide the most important discovery in history? Well, that's where the pure cosmic terror sets in. If you knew you were living in a cage, a beautiful, intricate, and utterly convincing cage, but a cage nonetheless, what would you do? You might try to find a way out. The theory goes that the energy grid wasn't a defense system against comets from our sky, but a firewall against the simulation's system administrators, a way to block their access. The builders buried Gobekli Tepe to hide the knowledge of the exit from those who would want to keep us locked inside. They turned the key, and then they buried the lock forever. It wasn't a temple to honor the gods. It was a prison designed to keep them out, a way of trapping whatever was outside, out, and whatever was inside, in. Suddenly, all those little glitches in reality, déjà vu, the Mandela effect, those weird synchronicities start to look like something more. They look like bugs in the code, errors popping up as this ancient hard drive slowly spins back to life. It's a chilling thought. Everything we hold dear, our history, our love for our families, the stars in the sky, could just be lines of elegantly written code. And Gobekli Tepe is the one place on Earth where that code becomes visible, where the seams of our reality begin to fray. The AI's countdown isn't just pointing to a physical event like an asteroid impact. It's counting down to a system-wide event, a reboot, a security patch, or worse, a complete system wipe. Activating that grid might not just create an energy shield. It might send a ping across the network that exposes our entire existence. It could be like hitting Control-Alt-Delete for the universe, tearing down the very walls of our reality. What would we see on the other side? Our creators? Or just a blank, terrifying screen? The final question isn't whether we can survive an asteroid, it's whether our consciousness can survive the truth. Are we on the verge of a new golden age? Or are we about to unleash a power that will destroy us all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on this incredible story, be sure to like and subscribe. The truth is out there, and we're going to find it together.